Knowing the market is not just being able to point at a chart and say inventory is low. Cute, a little bit helpful-ish, but that's not enough. Real estate market knowledge is knowing how to turn information into better decisions. A lot of people hear market knowledge and think it just means your agent knows what homes sold nearby. That is part of it, but deep market knowledge is much more than memorizing comps and sounding confident. A true understanding of the market helps you price better, negotiate better, time things better, spot opportunities better, avoid risk better, and make stronger decisions based on where you are, not just what headlines say. Because real estate is hyper-local, what is happening in one zip code can be completely different from another. A townhouse in one area behaves differently than a townhouse in another. A renovated home with a wrong pricing strategy can still sit. A well-positioned home with the right prep can fly. Market knowledge helps clients understand not just value, but leverage. Knowledge of the market is not just in knowing what homes sell for, it's knowing what businesses are coming into town that can affect job growth and housing needs. Which ones are closing shop for the opposite effect? Are school zones changing? Maybe new schools are being built. How will the next election factor into property taxes? So many factors outside of a house itself factor into how the housing market reacts. For sellers, we help answer questions like, where should we price this? What prep is worth doing? What will buyers in this market or area actually pay for? What are they likely to care about? And how do we position this house to create momentum? For buyers, we answer questions like, is this priced right? How competitive is this pocket? What terms matter most here? Are we in overbidding territory, or is there room to negotiate? What kind of resale strength does this area have? This is why clients mention knowledge so often in reviews. They're not just saying they knew some stuff, they are saying our insight made them feel more confident, it helped them move with less fear, it helped them make better decisions. We pride ourselves on not only educating our entire team about market movements, but all of our clients. Future clients, current clients, and past clients. Good market knowledge should create clarity in the decision-making process, not confusion. At Compass Home Group, one of the big things we believe is the data matters, but context matters too. You can have all the numbers all day long, that's great, but what do those numbers actually mean for this buyer, this seller, this house, this neighborhood, this timeline, and this goal? That is where experience and local insight matter. And this is especially important because the national headlines are a blunt instrument. They tell a giant story about the country, but buyers and sellers do not live in the country. They actually live in a neighborhood. They live in a school district. They live in a very specific price point with a very specific inventory and a very specific buyer behavior. So when someone says, I heard the market is doing this, our job is to often say, maybe broadly, but let's talk about your lane. That kind of specificity is incredibly valuable. It helps sellers avoid overpricing. It helps buyers avoid overreacting. It helps both sides understand where the real leverage is. So if you're choosing an agent, ask them how they interpret the market, not just whether they know the stats. Ask how that knowledge affects pricing, negotiation, timing, and strategy. Because the value is not in knowing information. The value is in using it well. Market knowledge is not just knowing what sold down the street. It is knowing how to use that information to price better, negotiate smarter, and help clients make decisions with confidence. Data without context is just noise. The right agent turns it into strategy, and that is where Compass Home Group shines. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and take a look at our next video.